Hey guys, this video lesson is going to go over the quiz review for our Unit 6 3D Geometry quiz. Please make sure you have this PowerPoint open so you can be following along with me. Alright, take a look at this first slide. It says what 3D figure is represented by the nets below. It gives us 4 different problems here. So looking at our first one, remember we want to look at our base to tell us the first word. So here we have a base of a triangle. And I only have one base, so I know it needs to be a pyramid. Another way I know it's a pyramid is all of my sides are triangles as well. So this right here, I would label this a triangular pyramid. All right, next, looking at that, I see 3 rectangles and 2 triangles. Remember, you can never have more than 2 bases. So those rectangles cannot be my bases. These 2 triangles are going to be my base. And since I have 2 of them, I know it's a prism. So this is a triangular prism. Next, everything's a rectangle. If everything's a rectangle, that's going to be a rectangular prism. Remember, in a prism, your sides are rectangles. Your bases, which are rectangles here, tell you what the first word is. So rectangular prism for that one. Last but not least, here I have 1 rectangle, or in this case a square, and 4 triangles. So I know that rectangle or square has to be my base. And since there's only one of them, this is a pyramid. Another way I know it's a pyramid is all of my sides are triangles. So has to be a pyramid there. All right, next one, draw the net for the following shape, label the dimensions, then find the surface area. So here we have a triangular prism, which means I have 3 sides that are rectangles and 2 bases that are triangles. So your net should look something very similar to this. After you label the net or draw the net, you have to label your dimensions. If we look at this, the long part of my rectangles are 15, so I can label that all the way down these sides. The height of my triangle is 11. The base of my triangle here is 13. And then the sides of my triangle are 10 and 10 there. So remember, those will actually fold back up to be the other 2 sides of our rectangle. So in this, when I label my A, B's, and C's, I like to make my 2 triangles shape A's because I know every single time in a triangular prism, those A's, those triangles will match perfectly. And then I'll make my 15 by 10, I can make that shape B, and I have another one on the bottom there, 15 by 10. And then the one in the middle needs to be shape C because that's a 15 by 13, so that one's different. So once we label everything, we just need to find the area of each. Shape A was my triangles, 13 times 11, but divided by 2, because it's base times height divided by 2. Plug that into your calculator, you should get 71.5. But because I have 2 shape A's, I need to multiply 71.5 times 2 to get 143. On to shape B. Shape B were my 2 rectangles that were 15 by 10s. 15 times 10 is 150. But again, we have 2 shape B's, so we have to multiply by 2 to get 300. Last but not least, shape C was a 15 by 13. Plug that in your calculator, you should get 195. Final step, add our 3 numbers. 143 plus 300 plus 195. We should get a total area of 638, and it would be feet squared on our units. All right, here we have a rectangular pyramid. We are doing the same thing. We need to draw our net first. So in a rectangular pyramid, my base is a rectangle. And then since it's a pyramid, all of my sides are triangles. It's okay if it's not perfect. Obviously, I'm not a good drawer either. So there we go. Once we have our net, we need to label our dimensions. I like to start right in the middle with my 6 by 4. And then you can see all of the heights of the triangle are the same. All of them are 5.5. So I'm just going to label one of the heights, since I know they're all the same, 5.5. Now, you do need to be careful because the base of these triangles are different. So we do not have 4 of the same triangles. We have a shape A over here, which is a 4 by 5.5. And we have another one on the other side. But the other 2 triangles are 6 by 5.5. So those need to be our B's. And then can't forget about our base right there, shape C in the middle. Once we label everything, we can find the surface area. So shape A, we made that our 5.5 times 4's. It's a triangle, so we need to divide by 2. When you plug that in, you should get 11. But we have 2 shape A's, so multiply by 2. And then we can move on to shape B. Shape B, we made those our 5.5's times 6. It's a triangle, so divide by 2. Should get 16.5 when you plug that in your calculator. Again, we have 2 shape B's. Multiply by 2, you should get 33. Last but not least, shape C, just our rectangle in the middle, which is a 6 by 4 to get 24. Final step, add our numbers. So 22 plus 33 plus 24 gives me a total surface area of 79 inches squared. All right, next one, same idea, draw the net, label the dimensions, find the surface area. Here we have a rectangular prism, so everything's a rectangle. I have 4 sides that are rectangles, and then 2 bases that are rectangles as well. I like to label what's my little flappies or my bases here first. So those are 5 by 2's. So I can put 5 by 2, 5 by 2. And then that helps me label some of the other rectangles. That means this is a 2 there, this would be a 5, this would be a 2. And then the long part of my rectangles are 10 centimeters. So I can label 10 all the way across. Once I do that, I can label my different shapes. So I'll make shape A, those 2 little flappies right there. Shape B's can be my 10 by 2's, and then shape C's should be my 5 by 10's. Remember, in a rectangular prism, you should always have 2 A's, 2 B's, 2 C's. So keep that in mind. So now we can find our area. Shape A, 5 times 2, which is 10. We have 2 shape A's, so multiply by 2. Then we can move on to shape B. Shape B, we made those our 10 by 2's. 10 times 2 is 20, but we have 2 shape B's. Multiply by 2 to get 40. Finally, shape C, we made those our 5 by 10's to get 50. We have 2 shape C's. Multiply by 2 to get 100. Final step, add your numbers. 20 plus 40 plus 100 to get 160, and it's centimeters squared for your units. All right, here we have a triangular pyramid. So that means my base is a triangle and all 3 of my sides are triangles as well. Now let's label the dimensions. The height on your base triangle down here is 7. The sides of that triangle are all 6. And then the height of your side triangles are all 10. So my sides are all the same, so we could label all of those shape A. This is a little tiny, sorry. Shape A, shape A, shape A. And then our center triangle can be our shape B, because that one has a different height. So find the area of each one. Shape A, they are 6 by 10's, but they're triangles, so make sure you divide by 2. You should get 30. Now for this one, we have to multiply by 3 because I have 3 shape A's, so you should get 90. And then shape B, that's our center triangle in there, which is a 6 by 7. Divide by 2 because it's a triangle, should get 21. No need to multiply that because I only have 1 shape B. Final step, add your two numbers. 90 plus 21 gets you a total surface area of 111 centimeters squared. Mrs. McCall is painting the walls in Kate's room. Find the surface area of the walls only to determine if Mrs. McCall is correct. Explain why or why not. So here we have a net. It's a rectangular prism that's representing the whole entire room. We can see that Mrs. McCall did her work. She found the total surface area. Now the issue is, in the problem they told us we should only be painting the walls. If you take a look, Mrs. McCall did all 6 of the walls, including the floor and the ceiling. So this is partial surface area. We should have actually crossed out the floor and the ceiling. We're not going to paint those. We need to show the correct work. So first thing I like to do is label the sides so I know what I should be doing or multiplying what I shouldn't be multiplying. So if this is 5 down here, I know all the way up these are 5 as well. Then since this side length here is 8, I know that is 8 as well, and that makes these 8 over here, and then this will be 8 down here as well. Then finally, remember, if the ceiling is a 5x4, then the floor has to be a 5x4 as well. So that makes this 4 over here, which will help our side little flappies there. When I find the correct work, notice I need to do 5x8, which will get me 40, and I have 2 of them, so multiply by 2 to get 80. And then I have an 8x4, which is 32, and I have 2 of those also to get 64. So to figure out the total area that she needs to paint, we just need to add 80 plus 64 to get 144 feet squared. So to explain what she did incorrect, she should have not included the ceiling or the floor. All right, last but not least, we have to talk about cross sections. So they give us a couple of different 3D shapes, and we have to tell what the 2D shape would be if we cut it parallel and perpendicular to the base. Remember, a parallel cut to the base will always be the 2D shape that is your base. So what I mean, in a triangular prism, my base is a triangle. So if I do a cut parallel to the base, my cross section is going to show a triangle. A perpendicular cut to the base, that is going to show a 2D shape that is identical to your sides. So in a triangular prism, prisms have sides that are rectangles. If I make a perpendicular cut to the base, it would show me a rectangle. In a triangular pyramid, my base is a triangle, so a parallel cut would show me a triangle. And in a pyramid, my sides are triangles as well, so a perpendicular cut to the base would show me a triangle. In a rectangular prism, everything's a rectangle, so parallel cut to the base would show me a rectangle. Perpendicular cut to the base would also show me a rectangle. In a rectangular pyramid, my base is a rectangle, so a parallel cut would show me a rectangle, but a perpendicular cut would show me a triangle because it's a pyramid. In a cylinder, my base is a circle, so a parallel cut would show me a circle. And my side is, remember, one rectangle that is wrapped around. So a perpendicular cut would show me a rectangle. And then finally, a cone. Cone has a base that is a circle, so a parallel cut would show me a circle. Perpendicular cut would show me a triangle because it's wrapped around that circle.